You are listening to Water Online Radio. Welcome back to our exclusive coverage from WEFTEC, the water quality event. This edition of Water Online Radio, covering WEFTEC since 2011, is broadcasted live from New Orleans, Louisiana, and is brought to you by wateronline.com, enabling water and wastewater professionals to make informed decisions. Let's get on with the show. Here are your hosts, Todd Schnick and Todd Youngblood.
All right, good morning and welcome back to our day one coverage from WEFTEC live in New Orleans. Todd, 4 years running for Water Online Radio's exclusive coverage of this great event. Great companies, great leaders, great innovation. You know what? Great friends. This is always one of my favorite highlight interviews of the show.
You know, it's always great to see Maury, and he brought a buddy. So we're going to meet even more people now. Friends beget more friends.
That is true. We'll say hello to our guest, Derek Scott. He's a marketing and technical manager with American Flow Control. Derek, welcome to the show.
Oh, good morning. Thanks for having us.
It's good to have you. And we're also joined by our good friend, Maury Gaston, manager, marketing services with American Ductile Iron Pipe and American Spiral Weld Pipe. Maury, as always, welcome back.
Thank you, Todd. Good to be here.
Maury, why don't you lead us off, Maury, and give us a quick overview of American Ductile Iron Pipe?
American Ductile Iron Pipe produces iron pipe 4-inch diameter through 64-inch diameter for water and wastewater applications, and American Spiral Weld Pipe produces spirally welded steel pipe up to 12-foot diameter, wall thicknesses up to 1 inch, cement mortar linings, tape wrap coatings, polyurethane linings and coatings, again, primarily for water and wastewater applications.
All right, Derek, we've talked to Maury for many, many years running now, but we're not as familiar with American Flow Control. Give us the 10,000-foot view there. What do you do? How do you serve your market?
Well, sure. We have a very complementary product line that works well with our iron pipe brethren, and we make valves 2 through 66-inch in diameter, large RW gate valves, as they're known in the industry. We make fire hydrants. We have 2 very iconic brands that we own, and that's the American Darling brand. Have products produced in Beaumont, Texas, at our facility there, and the Waters brand. Of course, we produce that in South St. Paul, Minnesota. Check valves, tapping sleeves, indicator posts, a number of products that really complement the piping network.
Broken pipes, flooded streets, haven't quite fixed it all yet, and the aging infrastructure that we hear about all the time is still a problem. I mean, are we just in a catch-up game permanently, or is there an end in sight? Maury, I'd like to hear from both of you.
Well, permanently, probably. Is it going to be permanent at the intensity that it needs to be the next 20 years? Probably not, and certainly not if we do it right. Much of our nation's underground infrastructure is 100 years old, and quite frankly, I think that's a testimony to the strength and reliability of iron pipe, which was about the only product available 100 years ago. And if other products had been available then, which have been in use the last 30 or 40 years, we probably would have had these problems much sooner. The fact that these products that we are experiencing difficulties with are 100 years old is not that bad a problem. It could have come up 50 years ago, but we need to take all that into account as we make replacements and upgrades. It's a good opportunity for systems to upsize their lines, reduce their pumping costs, improve their flow coefficients and things of that nature.
Derek, any comment on that?
I agree with everything that Maury said. I mean, unfortunately, this is a situation that will only get worse over time if not acted on now. In a lot of scenarios, you know, it's unfortunately, I guess what we do is it's buried, it's below ground, so it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And it's getting more critical. You know, AWWA published a publication not too long ago. It's called Buried No Longer. And in that particular document, they indicated that we're going to be having to spend over $1 trillion in the next 25 years. And that's a lot of money. But that would only get worse if we don't act now. And certainly things that have happened recently with the WEFTEC and the P3s, which are public-private partnerships, those are small steps in the right direction, but we're going to have to do more.
And while all this will cost a lot of money, the value of water and the value of wastewater has been undervalued.
Certainly.
Clean water is the greatest advancement in public health in the history of the world, and we take it for granted here in our country. And if each utility would have moderate rate increases each year, 3 to 5% in a few years, they would be able to fund massive improvements for their systems, which are necessary.
Well, Maury, you said something a minute ago that I want to explore a little bit further, where the industry isn't operating with as much intensity as it needs. If I heard you correctly, how can that be? With what we know what's going on with the importance to public health that our work does here, how can that be, and what do we need to do to get it to be intense?
A lot of it's immediate lack of funding. and it's going to take some time to build up your bond ratings and other capacities to have the money available to make the improvements that are necessary. And another factor is that this is out of sight. It's underground, and it doesn't get the attention that an above-ground bridge or an above-ground building receives because the public can see those things.
Derek, talk a little bit about the decision process that a municipality's got to go through. Maury talked about 100-year-old technology in iron pipe, and it obviously works. It works extremely well, but there are folks that might say, gosh, an old technology, not what I ought to be looking at. How does a municipality look through and make the correct decision on which of these technologies to use?
Well, certainly with the problems that we just discussed, they've got a plan for the inevitable. Those costs, they've also got to integrate potential future growth into that equation. How to get water. Maury talked briefly on water being a more and more precious commodity for this society. And they're going to have to deal with how to get it further distances, if you will. With that is typically larger diameter pipelines, larger valves. And a lot of times that dynamic kind of escapes what typically the normal utility is used to. So they have to do a lot of evaluation. They're going to have to consult with the engineering firms that they work with on a regular basis. A real key element in that is partnering with trusted vendors. You know, our company's been around for over 100 years, and a lot of folks have come and gone in that period. A lot of people have gotten bought and sold. We're still here. We're growing. And our culture, though, has been based on the founder, John Egan, on his legacy, and it was a golden rule legacy, certainly. But I think that one thing that can happen there is finding these trusted partners throughout the world, throughout the engineering community, throughout your supplier industry, everybody working together, and you'll find these solutions. Maury touched on it just a minute ago, but we have the same scenarios. Pumping costs, for instance, a gate valve that we produce versus a butterfly valve that we used to produce many years ago. Pumping cost is 10 times greater in that older technology in the butterfly valve than it is in an RW gate valve. That's a lot of money. That all equates to this sustainability factor that we're talking about.
All right. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Water Online Radio live from WEFTEC, and we're speaking with Maury Gaston and Derek Scott. All right, gentlemen, a two-part question. For a municipality that has scheduled replacement, what are the best options and newest technologies? Maury, we'll start with you in piping.
Well, sure. And Todd mentioned the fact that iron pipe has been in service 100 years. I'm not correcting you, but it's not old technology. It's a time-proven material, and we are using the latest modern casting technology to make improvements in iron pipe from a casting standpoint, a thickness control standpoint, flow coefficients, smoother linings, that sort of stuff.
That's an
much tighter controls. The thing that has been constant through all this is the material that we are casting the pipe from, which is obviously time-proven and very strong and durable. We have a new wrap for external corrosion protection called V-Bio. It's got a biocide on the inside of it to kill the germs and the bacteria that might otherwise set up some initial corrosion. Traditional polyethylene encasement has been in service now for 60 years and is proven to prevent corrosion and extend the life of the pipe almost indefinitely in corrosive environments, and V-Bio is going to take us a further step down the road there. Iron pipe's sustainability practices have been endorsed by a number of third-party independent organizations. We have the SMART rating, recognizing our fact that we're made from recycled iron and steel. We're completely recyclable at the end of our life. There's lower pumping costs to operate our product while it's in service compared to other pipe materials, and so many positive things that resonate in the marketplace today that have been inherent in iron pipe for all these years.
All right, Derek. Best options and newest technologies with regards to valves.
Well, we have recently embarked on developing a boltless restrained joint that, of course, the pipe side of our business has had for many years. But we offer this 16 through now 60-inch boltless restrained joint. Gone are the days when you have to put a traditional T-head bolt on a valve end that potentially can be susceptible to corrosion. Labor savings are significant. Deflection of the valve for differential settlement and so forth is of paramount importance, and this joint allows us to do that. You get a turnkey system with our company, if you will. We've also jumped in the GIS side of the business, Geologic Information System, our geography information systems, and really essentially what that is, we put a barcode on our assets that we sell the client, and they can go and seamlessly scan that code with either a smartphone app or a piece of hardware. It integrates all the manufacturing attributes of that product over to their database, and they can integrate that into maintenance Gone are the days when you need to have as-built drawings at the end of a project, or if you've got an emergency event such as a Katrina or a Sandy, you know exactly where this valve is at. You can go locate it right away, the depth in 3D. And we've also are pushing a new product on our hydrants called the Captivator. It's a locking cap. After 9/11, there was concerns about potentially putting something in the water system, and this does two things. It does that, plus it also negates water theft, which is a big deal these days. So we're really developing new things on existing products as well.
Maury, these folks that are running these treatment plants, they're all smart, they're all hardworking, but there is just so much stuff to be aware of. Technology, applications thereof, new ideas, new twists, new processes. What are a few common things that get missed that folks don't consider as much as they should?
Well, I think a lot of folks fail to look at the long-term suitability for the products that they're using to build their facilities. I think people need to take a longer-term view. They need to buy the 100-year product and not the 20-year product. So many of these folks will not be in their current role at the end of the life of the product that they are specifying today. And I wish for the good of the public and for the financial well-being of their organization that they would take a longer-term, total life cycle cost view of the decisions that they're making today. Folks 100 years ago did, and we're benefiting from it today. So I wish that the entire public sector would invest in higher quality materials that are going to last a longer period of time.
All right, well, let's close this up by walking through some goals and objectives here at WEFTEC. Derek, I'll start with you.
Well, of course, these types of events, you're always looking to network. You're always looking to meet new potential partners that you can do business with. Visibility is, of course, of paramount importance to really any company here, and WEFTEC continues to deliver that.
Maury?
My primary goal at WEFTEC is to be on your radio show.
Well, that lady over there is taking bribes for WEFTEC 2015, so make sure you pay her off.
Okay, well, on that note, we are about out of time. Before I let you go, how can people get in touch with you and learn about your fine work? Maury, we'll start with you.
Our website is www.american-usa.com. My email is mgaston@american-usa.com. My phone number is 205-325-7803.
And Derek, where can people find you?
Same website, email dscott@american-usa.com, phone number 205-325-7863. And for that matter, any of our associates, if you go to that website and click on sales, you can find any associate in the country, bio of them, the areas they cover.
Derek Scott, Marketing and Technical Manager, American Flow Control, and Maury Gaston, Manager, Marketing Services with American Ductile Iron Pipe and American Spiral Weld Pipe. Gentlemen, it was a real pleasure, as always, to have you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, that wraps this episode. On behalf of our guests, your hosts, Todd and Todd, and all of us at Water Online Radio, our WEFTEC coverage, we'll be right back.